it's Jess from Sunflower Dairy, and it's finally time. It's seed starting time, and today I'm going to be starting artichokes. So artichokes need to be started about 12 weeks before your last frost date. And to figure out your last frost date, you will type in your growing zone, which to figure that out, you can just look up your town or your zip code and then your growing zone, and then you're going to look up your last frost date for your growing zone. And so usually ours ends up somewhere around Mother's Day, so but I don't stick to that. So what I like to do is I will check the 10-day forecast of around the time that it says our last frost date is supposed to be, and I will look and see if that 10-day forecast looks like it's going to be above freezing, above when we would be getting a frost. And if that looks safe, then usually that gives me a green light that I'm good to go and I can start planting stuff. But for artichokes, they take a really long time, and if you don't get them started soon enough, sometimes it will take them 2 seasons to produce an actual artichoke. And if you have a growing zone that is really cold, then a lot of times these won't perennialize. Now you can, if you are in a colder growing zone, you can possibly get these to overwinter, but that takes really mulching them, trying to give them some kind of cover to keep them warm. So, you know, sometimes you will get them to perennialize and sometimes you won't. So it's good to try to start them early so that they can get a jump and a head start on their growing time, and then hopefully you will get artichokes this year. So I have grown these in the past, and I have started them early enough where I did get artichokes in the same year. And also something that I want to try this year is actually putting a couple of these in the greenhouse to see if I can get them to overwinter in the greenhouse, and then see if I can get a second season out of them. But you know, I'm not sure how that's going to work because the greenhouse is not heated, so you know, it does get colder in there. I have noticed that usually the greenhouse will stay 10 degrees warmer than outside, so you know, we'll see. It's going to be an experiment, but I am going to start these artichokes because I know that I can grow artichokes in my growing zone if I start them soon enough. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So first off, I have my seed starting tray, and I have a loose seed starting soil in here. And so first of all, you want to make sure that you have your seed starting soil good and saturated. So just making sure, you know, there's no dry pockets in your tray. You know, kind of go through the soil, make sure there's no dry spots, because sometimes you'll get a dry pocket in your seed starting soil and then it's harder for the seeds to germinate. And with artichokes take a while to germinate. They take anywhere from 10 to 20 days, and 20 days is a long time, so you want to make sure you do everything you can to make sure that you can get those artichokes to germinate as soon as possible, because you know, to have to restart them and them take 20 days to germinate, you know, you're looking at not having enough time if you don't start them soon enough. So you want to try to make sure you get it right the first time. Of course, I always plant a few extra just in case. So So the seed package says about 1/4 deep to plant the artichoke seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I have 2 kinds of artichokes today. So this is the green globe artichoke, which is usually, you know, your average green artichoke that you see, that you usually get. So there's that one. And also there's 2 kinds of artichokes. So there's usually a green, you know, edible artichoke, and then there's also ornamental artichokes. So this is a red artichoke, and I have not grown this one. I've usually grown the green artichoke, but with the red artichoke, I have read that this is actually a green edible artichoke mixed with a ornamental artichoke, which I have heard that with the ornamental artichokes, usually they take 1 year to produce. So they took the green globe artichoke and the ornamental artichoke, and then they made these red edible artichokes. So we're gonna see, you know, how these do. If they take as long as a green artichoke, if they're, you know, actually something that takes a shorter season. So I'm gonna kind of experiment and go from there. So I'm gonna start out with the green globe artichokes. So I'm gonna go ahead. Popsicle sticks work great, you know, you can recycle those. Alright, so I like to make sure I label everything so that I know what exactly is growing in the seed tray, because if I don't do that, I'm going to forget, and I'm going to be like, what in the world did I plant in that tray? So write down that it's an artichoke, and then this is the green artichoke. So making sure that I know that so that I can keep track of the difference between the 2 different ones. So I'm going to kind of do this in 2 different sides here. So this side I'm going to do the green globe artichoke, and then this one I'm going to do the red globe artichoke. Right now is the middle of February. So very soon we will be getting to spring. Alright, so 1/4 of an inch deep. I'm just dropping one in each seed spot here. And I'm going to go ahead and fill up my seed tray, because this year I'm planning on planting extra stuff, and gotta grab another packet of these, but I'm going to go ahead with this side with the red ones. So this year I'm going to plant extra stuff, and I'm going to plant stuff in the greenhouse, and I'm going to plant stuff outside of the greenhouse in the garden. So I'm making sure that I plant extra of everything this year. Alright, so that is the red artichoke. need to grab a couple more seed packages of artichokes, but for right now, I'm gonna get these front ones covered. I'm gonna mark right here where this is where I stopped with the artichokes, so I know where to start again. But so right here is all full, and what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go ahead and mist these before I cover them to make sure that they get good and saturated. Because like we said, these have almost a 20-day germination. So you want to make sure you get these as much of a head start as possible. Alright. So I'm just going to go ahead and cover these lightly. So said about 1/4 of an inch deep. So we're going to do that. Make sure we get good soil contact on that seed. Alright, and then we're going to water them in. Alright, those look good and watered, and first seeds of this gardening season. Alright, as soon as these start popping up and sprouting up, I will show you. But thank you all for joining me in planting some artichokes. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.